puts up a tough shot. Bounces around. Goes in at the buzzer. Working it down to 2-1. A deep three. Oh!
It's population.
That's how you win a game.
It's population. We hustle every day to find picks. You can tell us if you want to get rich. It's population. We robbing Underdog and PrizePicks. We the best in this biz. You ain't telling us shit. It's population. We love making money quick, fast. Cooking up a team card. The whole crew about to smash. It's population. We do it for the fam, so everybody let's cash. The dopest team you ever seen. Winning money, stacking G's. Bookies setting traps, but they'll never catch me. Some people get addicted like rats to the cheese, but I got one obligation to bring Johnny to his knees. Holding back the props till the morning he knows. They'll be fishing in the shack, plotting nukes with the pros. Only with crawl, never reload. Underrated them out, amigos. We go with honest, we seeking the bloods. We know when a fucking cheat code. Party that I'm sweating, they can't be good for my health. Some may call it making bets, I call it investing in myself. I'm picking props like stocks, population for the win. Got my sips in by the buzzer now, let the games begin.
Unbelievable. Just happened. He did it.
It's population. It's population. It's population. We do it for the fam, so everybody let's cash.
Yo, what is up, guys? No E tonight. He was pretty tired, so I'm gonna solo dolo this one. I thought I would just kind of go through and just have you guys join along my research process the night before, see if we can find some targets before bumps tomorrow. And I think what I'll try to do is predict lines that we currently don't have, like fantasy and things like that, and we'll just create a list for each game, key targets to look out for, and we can just keep an ongoing track of that. But recap yesterday was really, really solid for the key targets we had. Bam's 1.5 dunks was all over that. Just do the Pistons, their switch defense, and especially Duran, he just gives up dunks a lot and just easy buckets because he follows the ball and just allows easy passes in the paint. So that was pretty straightforward. Once we got Luka news, we jumped on his first half fantasy because it's the Pacers and he crushed them recently, and it's Luka and he went off as usual in the first half. And then Nurk, given his history against Jokic, loved his fantasy, both the first half and full game, and he crushed both. He just really gets up, and especially being back in Denver, revenge game there, right? And then Jimmy, 7 free throws. He crushed that. I think he had 11 or 12. And yeah, Detroit still leads the league in free throw attempts allowed, still fouling at the highest rate. So, and Jimmy is a foul magnet, really good at drawing fouls. And then Van Vliet, loved his fantasy upside here against the Spurs. And he did his thing and crushed that. And then we kind of got these other props late, Trey Murphy and Okoro's first half props, low lines, and really good opportunity for both there, and they got there. And then Jalen Green, same thing with Van Vliet, great matchup here against the Spurs, fast pace, bad defense. Miles Turner, we had his first half, but just went with this full game because thought the game would stay close. Ended up blowing out, so the bench is emptied, and he fell 3 short, and he kind of died off in the second half, which he tends to do. And then Lowry, he just could not stop fouling. I think he finished with 7 RA, but liked his assists at 5.5, and they bumped it to 6. So went with the RA. He just did not get it done rebounding. But yeah, pretty solid day overall. Just maxed out the tacos with some of these plays that I showed on the list. Cashed his 4 pick, and then the other taco ended up going with Kyrie under up to the Luka news and pairing it with Luka over. Good correlation there, and then throwing Jimmy's free throws in there. So yeah, utilize the tacos. Actually ran out of time. I got lucky, ran out of time on the Ingram taco, never ended up using it, and I saw he fell way short. I'm not surprised it's Brandon Ingram. But let's go ahead and dive into the slate. first game we have Magic at Wizards. So we have Magic on a back-to-back. 8-point spread, favor Magic, 222 total. I thought, total would be less than this. Usually they are with Magic games, but maybe since they're on a road and back-to-back, they're giving a little credit to the Wizards here. Some key news for the Magic. Let's check the injury report. So Fultz is good to go. Isaac is questionable and is classified as iffy. They're usually pretty strict on his minutes and being on a back-to-back and how injury prone he is. I doubt he plays. Gary Harris popped up on the injury report as well on a back-to-back, and being an old vet, he might not play either. So if we get Gary Harris and Isaac out, that's going to open up some minutes for Fultz for sure, because Fultz will sub in for Gary. And if Isaac is out, then that's going to open up more minutes for probably Mo Wagner. Probably see some more Anthony Black here as well. Let's see here. So we don't have the recent log from Magic. I think if Gary Harris is out and Fultz in this matchup, I think it's a really good fantasy upside here for him because he'll get stocks. He was productive in his last outing against the Pistons. He had 16 points in just 16 minutes. And Gary Harris has been playing big minutes and eating up a lot of usage when he's been out there. So let's mark his fantasy down here. I think depending on what it is, I can't remember the last line he had, but feeling pretty good about his fantasy. And he's fresh since he sat out. And then Wendell just keeps crushing in the first half, right? And we have a depleted Wizards team, so Bagley is out. So I think we go right back to Wendell. First half points or PRA here. He's taking most of his shot volume in the first half, so don't hate the points, but he's also rebounding at a high clip now. So let's look at his. We don't have his rebound chance. They won't have it for today, but let's look over the last two games. So he's up there with Franz and Benkera. 13 rebound chances. Franz 13, Benkera 16. He's really eating into Benkera's rebounds as of late. So I always like to see the PRA because you have multiple ways to get there. So it's a good rebounding spot. There should be a lot of bricks going up in this game. Pace up spot 2. Let's look at the pace here. Wizards still number 1 in pace. So this is a massive pace up spot for Orlando because Orlando is bottom 5 in pace. So faster pace, more shots going up, more shots equal more rebound opportunities. So yeah, I would say the first half PRA, especially Gary Harris is out. Gary Harris has been very active especially in the first quarter and first half. So if he's out, that's less shots going up. And it just depends. If Anthony Black starts over Gary Harris or Fultz, both of them usually don't have a high shot volume. So even better for Wendell here. And we love taking centers versus the Wizards, right? And now they don't have Gafford anymore. They don't have Bagley. So we'll get to them in a second. They're probably going to have to start Eugene or Kuzma at the 5. Okay. And can always consider Benkera, but he, especially in the first half, I feel like he takes a back seat. More productive in the second half. If you want to risk the full game and hope the game stays close, then wouldn't mind his fantasy. I think it's been sitting around 39.5. So if the game stays close and goes the full distance, I mean, you can definitely consider his fantasy too in this matchup. Suggs, man, is he hard to trust, but he's going to get more shot volume, more usage if Gary's out in that first quarter stint. His first quarter points are at 2.5. That's 1-3 for him. It's minus 135 right now. I think Underdog has it at 2.5 right now if you want it. Let's see. Still 2.5, yeah. If you wanted to take a stab at it. But it sucks, man. His shooting has been so up and down and really bad as of late. So I get it though, especially if Gary's out. But yeah, other than that, I think that's it for the Magic. Man, Franz really struggled shooting today and lately. And his shot volume is just way down. So he could bounce back here. I think his RA is at 8.5. It's not bad. I mean, you saw his rebound potential or chances I showed a second ago. Let's take a look at his potentials. I think his potentials are sitting around 8 or 9. But if Fultz or Anthony Black are starting and Gary Harris is out, they're definitely going to eat into potentials. So yeah, Franz is way down over the last couple games. Okay, yeah. Yeah, and see, Fultz is up there with 4 with only 17 minutes. If he's starting, you can imagine you could probably get that around 8. That'll eat into Franz. So, I don't know. And also the blowout potential, it's probably best to stay away. Wendell, we talked about his RA last night. He got there. He barely got there. He had 9 rebounds and 1 assist. Luckily, the game stayed somewhat close the majority of the game, but if this one goes sideways and he's on a back-to-back being a big for full game, I don't know. Let's check the odds on the RA here. RA is like one of the first lines I look up for the night before because it's one of the few lines you can get somewhat of an advantage on. So it's opening at somewhat leaning towards over for Franz here, minus 130. Wendell's almost even money line, minus 120. Yeah, I think even just the rebound upside for Franz is probably the way to go. Yeah, minus 145 for his 4.5 rebound. We're not going to get that, and when we do get it, it'll be 5 flat. So, not sure if it's totally worth it for that. Let's move to the Wizards. So Bagley went down in the third quarter with the back issue. He will not play. And when he went out, they went with Kuzma pretty much the entire rest of the game at the 5. They didn't even have Holmes come in, but yeah, maybe Holmes will pick up the start, but still play limited minutes. They're still not using him that much, so he only played 9 minutes. You would think he would come in the 4th, but maybe it was just due to the Jazz running small because they didn't have Kessler or Markkanen. So yeah, maybe we see more Richaun Holmes here and he starts. Yeah, well, I'm curious to see what his props are, but yeah. With that said, let's look at Denny here. Where did I have it? Rebound chances. Denny has just been crushing the glass, and especially with Bagley. I mean, we know Bagley was really getting it done on the glass. But now with Bagley out, Bagley and Denny led the team, 19 rebound chances each. No one else was close. And that's why Denny had 11 rebounds. But man, I mean, his line is high, 8.5. I don't know if I can pay that tax. And it's not a good rebound spot against the Magic. It's a pace down spot for the Wizards here, and don't like to attack rebounding against the Magic because they're really good at boxing out. They have a lot of guys, especially on the wing, that will box out well, like Franz and Benkera. But it's just the rebound chances are going to be there for him for sure. I think if anything you consider for Franz, just due to those minutes he's going to be playing, would be his fantasy, because he's going to get it done scoring and he'll play make some, potentially pick up some stocks, but it's not a great spot. And then, Poole's been soaking up a ton of usage off the bench and playing actually pretty well. He's actually making his shots now. So, yeah, I tend to stay away from the Wizards unless I like Bagley when he was getting the run at center, but now that he's out, I might just stay away for now. Tyus continues to lead in potentials, no surprise, but he is passing to guys that don't hit their shots at a high clip, and then for whatever reason Kuzma had the golden hand last game and he only had 8 or 9 potentials, but converted on all of them almost. Yeah, he had 9 potentials, converted 8 of the 9. Tyus had 19 potentials. I mean, Tyus has been hovering around 18, 20 plus potentials a game. But you see, he only converted on 6 of them just because of the guys he's passing to. And the Magic are still top in overall opponent assists, I think. Yeah, they're number 1 still. So overall, they're allowing the least team assist. So 9.5, I get it. 2-to-1 ratio. He's probably going to have, 19, 20 potentials, but just do the matchup. Probably stay away here. Okay, next game. Clippers, Rockets. Rockets being a back-to-back. They are at home, so maybe they don't rest players, but you always have to worry about players on a back-to-back getting rested here. I haven't seen any reports, so as of right now, I would say they're all in. Let's check. It sucks about Easton. He's done for the season. Really liked him. Sengun had a monster game. There's no recent reports. Oh, we can assume they're all in. Both these teams I don't really attack for anything. They're just kind of middle of the road for every category. Both the Clippers and Rockets, so. And the Clippers, I think, are still fully healthy and should be full go. So unless someone is ruled out, I'll probably just stay away for now in terms of early leans. Westbrook will still be out, and you still have Bones in the rotation. Yeah, I'll probably just stay away for the time being. And let's see if anyone from the Rockets are rolled out on the back-to-back. If for any reason they rest Van Vliet, since he's a vet on a back-to-back, I would definitely look to guys like Cam Whitmore. Depending what their lines are, if he's still 10.5 points, or Thompson for his rebound or RA potential. But let's see if VanVleet, if he's set on a lot of back-to-backs or not. So, last back-to-back he played, minutes and 37. Yeah, just look out for that. It's still, I still like Cam Whitmore off the bench. Use him as a bench spark plug, and being a rookie, fresh on a back-to-back, might go to him a little bit more. But Udoka, he's so hard to predict with his rotations, especially with those rookies coming off the bench. It's kind of like if they're playing well, he'll leave them out there longer, or if the starters are just playing awful, he'll do just a hockey rotation, take them all out, and put in the rookie bench guys like Thompson and Whitmore. Jabari was a ghost today. I mentioned on the stream yesterday, Sengun and Jabari's production, they're like completely interlocked. One has a big game, the other one does nothing, takes a back seat, loses out in usage, or even just sits on the bench. And Sengun went off, Jabari, absolutely nothing. So it's really a coin toss between them. It's really, I think, matchup based too. Sengun had the best matchup here against the Spurs, who top three in points allowed to center. So I think Jabari just had, as a result, took the back seat, and his usage was way down. Sengun dominated the usage, and as well as the backcourt with VanVleet and Jalen Green. Let's see if they have Harden at 7.5 assists on here. They do not. I'm pretty sure he's 7.5 in the books. Okay, he was 7.5. There was just so much juice, they bumped it to 8.5 and then made it plus money. So missed out on that. Gonna maybe do a flip with that, but yeah, there's really nothing then standing out from that. Okay, let's move to the next one. Memphis and Philly. I have no idea what Philly's gonna do here. Lowry played big minutes, and he's an old vet. They might rest him. I mean, I think Maxey is out again because he's in concussion protocol. So I think it's a wait and see on Philly. Memphis. They're also wait and see because now all of a sudden Jaren Jackson was upgraded to questionable. He's last 2 games he was pretty much listed as doubtful. And now he's been upgraded to questionable, so can't touch that. Zaire is out for the season, and Watanabe is out again. So, yeah, that's a wait and see. We don't have any props either on PrizePicks, at least. Let's see what we have on players they have available. Okay. I mean, if Jaren does play, I would just take his first half points. I mean, he's just going to chuck coming out like he always does in the first half and dominate the usage. So I would consider that. What do they have his points at? 24.5. Okay, so he'll be his normal 12.5 first half points. Really soft matchup for him here. So let's put that. Look out for it. He'll have no one to compete with in terms of shot volume and usage because Vince Williams is shooting. Santi's like going to keep taking his 5 to 7 threes, and then Luke Kennard is not playing much, not many minutes. So look out for that. Okay. Or they already have some Philly props up here. Yeah, Lowry, I think he hooked his assists at 5. We're not able to check the potentials. I'm sure it's pretty high. I think Buddy had 4. I think even Uberi had 4 tonight. So it's just diluted amongst each other. I think Tobias had 3, so probably not the best to target any playmaking here for Philly. It's just going to spread around, and the guys they're passing to are not ideal. And Memphis, like, especially if Jaren plays, like, they've been pretty good about overall reducing catch and shoot threes, which are, your highest assist conversion plays. So they're pretty good about holding it down with the assist. So they're not like an ideal assist target team. You can see over the last 15 games against point guards, they're actually bottom 3. They're allowing the third least assist over the last 15 games of point guards. And to no surprise, the Pacers are number 1. Both the Pacers and the Grizzlies are, they're top 3 in catch and shoot 3 defense. They're really focused on shutting down the 3-point shooting. Kind of a funnel defense too. I mean, as a result, they're shutting down the perimeter and they're giving it up. So they're giving it up in the inside more so, scoring in the paint. So definitely want to attack them in the paint, both teams. Yeah, so I would just stay away from any of the playmaking on Philly, and I would just maybe consider something. Man, yeah, can't even like Philly. I mean, you don't Mo Bamba and Paul Reed are splitting minutes. You can't even attack because like Philly, we've been attacking with bigs inside the paint. They can't even do that because they don't even have a serviceable center. So unless you get like Paul Reed at like 7.5 PRA or 8.5 PRA again in the first half, maybe consider that. Okay, that's an ugly game. But if Jaren Jackson plays, that might change some things. But yeah, 216 total. Bulls Jazz, I think, let's see, Markkanen is out again. Hendricks is out as well, the rookie who's picking up playing time. Keontae George is up in the air with that illness. And yeah, Markkanen remains out. And Kessler remains out. So they're really shorthanded, especially in the front court with the forwards and centers. So let's look at the rotation when Hendricks went down. So went down. He never returned in the third quarter. And it just looks like the other rookie, Bryce, got more run as a result. And then Chris Dunn ended up playing big minutes as well because Keontae George went down or could not continue because he was too sick. And then, yeah, Yurts picked up some minutes as well. And then the bench crew came out here. And, oh, yeah, Johnny Juzang, the Summer League under legend, man. We used to go under him all the time in his rookie year during Summer League. Yeah, they're a mess. I mean, if Keontae George is out, I would say you could definitely consider Clarkson. because I think I think they're gonna either start him or they want to keep him off the bench, and they would go to either Dunn or THT in place of George if George is out. But we're not gonna get any of those props because of all that uncertainty, right? Yeah, we're not gonna get Clarkson, any of those guys. I mean, the Bulls still bleed a lot of threes. Their perimeter defense is pretty bad. I would say you definitely consider Sexton scoring upside here. And then with how active Vooch is, let's see what Collins fantasy got all the way up to 36.5 last game. If it's around there, I'll definitely consider it. The amount of minutes he's going to play and him having to match up against Vooch. And Vooch is lately, since the All-Star break, Vooch is, I saw a stat, he's the most fed big in the low post since All-Star break. So he's receiving the most passes down in the low block than any other center. So they're feeding him nonstop, and that's why his shot volume's way up and his usage and scoring. So let's mark Collins down, and then if it's around 35, 36 fantasy, I think it's only a 5-point spread. Is it? It's in okay, good. It's in Utah. So it gives them somewhat of an edge. Utah, with elevation, it's a hard place to play in. It gives them somewhat of an advantage. Let's look at the potentials from Utah this game. It's probably all over the place with guys going in and out of that last game. I'm just curious. I'm sure Clarkson led. I'm on rebounds here. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, so no surprise. Clarkson led by a little, 12 potentials, and Sexton had 10. I think it depends on the starting lineup. Definitely depends if they start Dunn, THT, or Clarkson for Sexton's assist potential here. It's a good spot. I mean, I would say his assists are PA, just due to how the Bulls get burned from the outside with 3-point shooting. Let's see if this is going to move at all. So it's actually juice on the under right now for Sexton. That could easily flip flop based on news tomorrow, but that's good. So don't have to do anything with that. Can hold off on that. It's not going to move. And let's check his PA here. See if there's going to be line movement. No, I mean, not much juice. Minus 125. And his points. Is it going to move? Nope. So we're good on that. Okay. Yeah, it's just only thing is that the Bulls. It's always a slow game. Let's see what their pace is lately. They still bottom. Yeah, let's see. They're second to last in pace, right behind the Knicks. So it's a massive pace down spot for the Jazz, which I don't like targeting assists when a team is going against one of the slowest teams in the league. So I would just stick to Collins fantasy or some type of 3-point, maybe even a 3-point prop if we get it for one of these guys against the Bulls perimeter defense. And one last thing I want to check is bird chances. 25. That's crazy. I mean, they have no one else, right? So, what's his rebound line at? It's got to be 9.5, I imagine. I didn't see it on PrizePicks. Yeah, it's 9.5. You know, let me check if Fliff what the line is. I wouldn't mind taking it, and then let's check what the odds are on the double double. So. Okay, so right now on Fliff, his 9.5 rebounds is only minus 150. So that's pretty good. Because usually when there's that much juice on like sites like DK and others, like usually Fliff will bump it up to like minus 170, at least 160, and then up to like minus 170, 175. So it's not bad value right now. And then his double double, it's only minus 125 for a double double. So that's even better value. I mean, I see him scoring 10 points here, so you're getting better value with a double double. So I might take a stab at that. I feel like the only way he probably doesn't get there scoring wise is if the game just completely goes sideways and blows out. But yeah, and then I think Drummond should absolutely smash here. Let me write down Collins on Fliff. Drummond coming in second unit against Yurts and others, and especially Jazz just being undersized, he should absolutely crush. So let's mark his props down. Let's see, 9.5 rebound / double double. And then Drummond, I think his first half here has been sitting around 10.5. I would still like it. Depending on what the lines are, you could consider the full game. Well, let's see, how many minutes did he play in the last game in the second half? Okay, so it's a pretty even split. Let's look at a game where it recently got somewhat out of hand. Oh, okay. So yeah, he played last blowout. He played with the cleanup crew and close. Oh no, that's because Vooch got ejected. That's right. So never mind that. Yeah, it doesn't look like it matters on game script for him. He's pretty locked in to his 16 to 18 minutes. So let's see what the lines are. If for whatever reason, if they open it at 9.5, I would definitely consider that. Let's look out. Let's hope it's around 18.5. Full 9.5 first half. Yeah, he should absolutely crush here. Vooch, he's on my ban list. Great matchup. Absolutely great matchup. But this guy has burned me too many times and burned our community too many times, so I get it if you want to play him. He's going against John Collins. He should feast on the glass and scoring. But I can't do it. Every time Vooch is in a prime spot, he lets down, so there's a lot of juice on his overs, so what's his rebounds at right now? 12.5. It was 11.5, and they bumped it to 12.5 because there was so much juice on the over. So that's already bumped. Let's see. I think his Ari had massive juice. Minus 135. For the 14.5, that's so high. But I mean, it's a great playmaking spot for him because the Jazz bleed assists and they're gonna bleed rebounds as well. Let's see, against centers. You can see over the last 15 games, Jazz are second in points allowed to centers. They're allowing a ton of fantasy. They're allowing the most fantasy. And I'm just going to put buyer beware for him. I mean, he's been getting it done in the first half, and he dies in the second half. Like last game against the Kings, he did absolutely nothing in the second half. He tends to do that a lot. So if you want to take a stab at it, I get it, but I'm gonna stick to my guns. But yeah, his usage is crazy high in the first half. And then the Jazz bleed threes, a really high clip. So Kobe White seemed to find his stroke last game against the Kings. He's been really struggling from three. I think since the All-Star break, he was like 5 of 29 from catch and shoot threes. And then last game, he caught fire. So maybe he keeps it up. Let's see what props we have for him. We're still in first half. Let's see. Man, is he juiced? Yeah, 3.5 3-point made, 23.5 points. Let's see. Odds are probably no line movement on that, and yeah. Yeah, I'm probably good on that. If his threes were at 2.5, I would consider it. But with a guy who's been so streaky after All-Star break, I would probably skip. Okay. Oh wait, but I want to look at the potentials real quick because the Jazz are getting up to some assists. The thing with the Bulls is their playmaking gets so spread out amongst.
Hey, you got a question in here.
Yeah.
What do you think of Gary Harris threes?
Yeah, I mean, that's all his majority of his shot volume consists of. But he just popped up on the injury report, and him being an old vet on a back-to-back, I presume there's a good chance he doesn't play. So. But, I mean, if you wanted it now and hope that he plays, you can take it. I would just pair it with one other prop. And if he doesn't play, then DMP and you get the refund, right? So, but yeah, that's majority of his shot volume. Okay. Next game, moving along. Oh, wait, I didn't. Yeah, the potentials are all spread out. To no surprise. It's like a guessing game between all of them for their playmaking, but I mean it's a good ain't no problem, Bram. It's a good assist spot for all of them, but I don't know if I want to play that guessing game. Yeah, see, they just basically said, okay, all of them are minus 130 or above, right? For their assists minus Caruso. So, and of course, PrizePicks only gave us 2 of the guys. Yeah. So probably wouldn't mess with that. I mean, you can take a stab at IO, but I would be surprised if he finishes right at 4. It's right there on the line. Harden over on points and assists. So they bumped his assists on DK. What did they bump his PA to? 25.5. Okay, so you're getting a discount because it looks like they bumped his assist 8.5, but his points are 17.5. So you're getting a 0.5 discount. What does PrizePicks have? Yeah, it's a discount, but yeah, his playmaking has been really hurt by Kawhi and Paul George. But I think Westbrook being out definitely helps him. I was hoping that they opened his assist at 7.5. I was really hoping for that, but they already bumped it to 8.5. Yeah, see, Kawhi. Yeah, for whatever reason, Kawhi is just really involved with the playmaking and is almost tied with potentials. I mean, before Harden was like 15 plus, right? In potentials, that's what we want. But this is back in Houston, so revenge narrative. So I get it. With guys like him in a revenge spot, I wouldn't even just consider his fantasy because it's been racking up the stocks, just depending on what the line is. I only really target him when either Paul George or someone out or Kawhi is out. I just hate when they're fully healthy because Paul George just black holes so much. 10% left? Okay. All right, on our data. Well, if that's the case, we'll just let me get to the key spots then. Okay. Let's go. Man, let's go Chet against Portland. Ayton is out. Portland is right there. Top team with centers to target against for centers that we like to target against. And yeah, let's look. Portland, our last 15, right near the top 5. And Dupe has, he's not the best defender. I'd much rather have Chet's fantasy because Dupe is actually taking a lot of shots and he could have block potential here. But for right now, I would consider his first half PRA or his first half points at 8. Yeah. Great spot for Chet here. Really good spot. And obviously I'm doing first half because I don't trust the game to go the distance because I'm sure it's a double-digit spread. Let's see. 13-point spread. So yeah. And then Kings, Lakers. Oh, the Warriors. Real quick. Andrew Wiggins is returning from his family problems. It's undisclosed, but it's since last year he missed time the last 25 games too. I won't say what it is, but it's some serious family problems. So he came back earlier than expected. We thought that he would just come back like last time for the end of the season for the playoffs if the Warriors made it, but came back unexpectedly early. So his head might not be right, but with him back, that's going to eat into guys like Kuminga production. We'll move Clay back to the bench. Yeah, and then Giannis, we don't know if he's playing. He sat out last game with that Achilles issue. So I have to wait and see on that. But you got Dame returning back to the Bay, where he's from. Always like that, and especially if Giannis is out. We saw Dame just chuck nonstop that last game with Giannis out. So I would consider Dame's full game points or PRA if Giannis is out. He definitely gets up for these games back in the Bay. And Warriors, I'll probably stay away. You can consider some pods under, especially with Wiggins back, and then fully healthy, having Chris Paul off the bench. Probably lose out on some minutes, and he just hasn't been that productive, especially scoring-wise. Defenses have figured him out and just forcing him to take outside shots and not let him do those blow-by layups. So you can always consider his unders. As long as no one gets a late scratch rule out like Chris Paul or anybody like that, which I don't think so. They're coming off a long rest after that long road trip. Kings-Lakers. Fox has crazy history versus the Lakers. Always gets up for these games. Massive stock upside here and 3-point shooting potential here. I would just take his fantasy once we get it. You could consider the PRA, but I just love Fox's ability to rack up steals. And then lately he's been diming too, so those assists are 1.5 fantasy per assist, so those will rack up as well. So let's write that. I would just take his full game. I think this should be hopefully a good game. Kings on the road, you can never fully trust. I'm gonna say if the fantasy is anywhere between 44 45 Fox, and then we can maybe consider his assist as well. And then man, this is tempting. So the Lakers, their transition defense and how much they give up the three ball from the transition is they're like bottom in the league. Oh, they took it down. Okay, never mind. They had Keegan Murray at 1.5 threes. Now he's on the road. He shoots much better at home, but that 1.5 three, it was tempting. It's gone. It was on the board, but you want to take a stab at it somewhere else. Definitely can. I mean, he's going to take 5 to 8 threes, but he is on the road, just due to the Lakers defense. And then for the Lakers, LeBron is questionable as usual. Assume he plays. And do we have his assist? He's been dominating with his assist. And nope, we don't. Yeah. So nothing standing out for that. And AD, what's his first half lines at? 21 flat. Yeah. I think, what's been hurting AD as of late is Austin Reeves and D'Lo. Their shot volume has gone way up, and their RA, especially Austin Reeves, his RA, he's been crushing it lately. We'll see if that continues. I don't mind both D'Lo and Reeves' potential here, especially at home. I think you can consider both of their scoring upside here and their RA. So take a stab at it. I think if the Kings have, if their three ball is not falling, the Kings have shown they get blown out pretty easily or struggle against bad teams. I think if the Lakers are making their threes at home and playing well, it could definitely turn sideways. So if you wanted, I don't mind taking the first half. But D'Lo sometimes can take a while to warm up, and he can go off in the second half with his 3-point shooting. So you could just consider his straight up points or his PA. He's also racking up stock, so I would look out for his fantasy as well. But yeah, probably if I had to rank it, I would between the backcourt of Reeves and D'Lo, I'd probably say D'Lo's scoring potential against the Kings, who still struggle with a perimeter defense. I think they rank like 21st. And then I would say you consider Austin Reeves' first half period. It's when he's most active and productive. So let's go ahead and add that. And yeah, I would say D'Lo's fantasy, depending on what the line is, it's probably most ideal. I just forget what his last line was. It's probably going to go up because he had multiple stocks last game, or his 23.5 PA. And then AR-15. This is a good RA spot for AR-15. Just due to the amount of rebounds that the Kings allow to guards because of the 3-point volume they have. And LeBron tends to take a back seat in the first half. He turns it on in the second half when he's needed, right? Like they have designed plays for these other guys in the first half, especially AD. Like he plays the entire first quarter. LeBron, tends to take a back seat, especially this his shot volume. Points of fantasy. I think Ram, if the fantasy is, I wish I could go back and check. If the fantasy was like less than 32, if it was around 30, I would consider the fantasy over that, just due to the matchup here. And if he's racking up assists, it's probably going to be 29. If it's not 29 and a half, I would take the fantasy. Let's quickly look at what they're allowing to point guards, the Kings lately. So they're average, middle of the road. Let's look over the last 7 games. You see the Lakers bleeding assists and steals, which is perfect for Fox, right? That's what we want. They're top 4 in fantasy allowed to point guards, and then the Kings are still just average, but I just still like the upside here being at home. And is there anything else? It's the bonus against AD. We'll have stock upside. I think his fantasy is going to be pretty high, though, with his PR being at 42.5. I'll probably stay away. I like to target Sabonis at home because his guys around him are making their shots, and he has a much higher assist rate at home, which really helps out with his PRA and fantasy. So, are we almost out of the percentage rating?
I'm not really sure. We're just praying at this point.
Yes, I think we got some solid early leans. Let's recap. I know there's some stuff we skipped over just because of pending news and things like that. Didn't get to fully dive in, but let's see.
Yeah, we should be good starting tomorrow.
Yeah. Good old Vooch, if you wanna dance with him. A lot of these are on the board. It's just what to look out for. We had a Fliff here. 9.5 rebounder, double for Collins. Minus 125 is not bad. And I'll look more into Fliff once we get off air and try to find some more plays. For Fliff, I tend to try to find really solid assist lines or RA. Because those are the ones early the night before that PrizePicks holds out on, and then try to gain the edge on Fliff before Fliff will bump it a whole one and make it plus money for the over. So, for instance, Harden was at 7.5 and just didn't have time to get on and get it entered before they bumped it to 8.5. Oh yeah, let me put Harden, depending on what his fantasy is. Definitely his first half because he's still productive, then plays huge minutes. Being back in Houston, don't mind that. I think it'll be, I want to say his first half PR is 16. I think the last time his fantasy was like 18 and a half. I think he'll be motivated. Should get some stocks here, rack up the assists, and hopefully knock down some threes. Hopefully Van Vliet doesn't give him too many problems. So, and then do we get Chet on here? We need to get Chet. Let's get his first half fantasy. It's been sitting around 19.5. First half 14.5 here. And a lot of these are due to blowout or just roles of the players on why we're going first half for some of these. Blowout for the OKC, potential blowout for the Magic, and Wendell is just more productive in the first half. A lot of these secondary guys are more productive in the first half because in the second half is when like the main guys turn it on if they're trailing or if they're needed, and they really dominate the usage. But the first half, the ball is kind of spread around when it's an even playing field. So I think we go more towards the first half of these secondary guys that are in favorable spots. Guys like AR-15 and Drummond and Chet and things like that, and Wendell. Okay. It's an okay slate. If I had to rank it, I would say it's a mid. I think the Lakers Kings, if it can go the full distance, I think that probably holds the best prop goodness in terms of overs. And then you can definitely consider some unders in these other games that have these high spreads and that are pretty ugly. Just some of them just pending injury news that we need to watch out for, right? So, but yeah, I love attacking Portland in the interior. So let's get some chat. You can maybe consider Jalen. I know he's struggling last couple of games, but it's a good bounce back spot for him. And yeah, this should be a great backcourt matchup of Fox, D'Lo, Reeves, and even Monk returning to LA, right? Let's see what his lines are. I'm sure he's going to get up for this game back in LA. All right. I think that's it. And we'll be back on tomorrow. Hopefully, we'll get you on here, get on earlier. And also, we'll try to get on tomorrow afternoon if we can. Once more props drop and we get more news. So we'll keep you posted on that. But hopefully this is helpful for you guys in the morning or late night and get some early